Well, good morning. We're recording this in case we have Zoom problems of getting people in, but we will keep it as a historical piece for this last stanza of this round, where we've got the two Australians playing, and they're playing against two people that they know well, and Vince Dumais on the left. I don't think he quite says it like that, but that'll do for us. And Craniac, the international star at the moment, along with Vince, playing in East.
Recording in progress.
Good morning. We're now 8 o'clock in the morning in Australia. This match has been going all night. Started at 11:30 last night in Eastern Standard Time, and it stars two Australians, Liam Milne and Andy Hung, as you can see on the screen here. This is an interesting selection, because I will just check who's on the other table. So that's Kit Wolseley and Bramley. That's interesting because that means that Bob Hammond is not playing the last set. They have chosen to go with Milne and Hung over the legendary Bob Hammond, who actually had a great finish to the third set and has put the team in front. As you can see, Bramley are 84-72, not a big lead, but it's a lead. Now, there's 15 boards in this set, which means we go through to board 30. And on the first board, which was 16, that was a wash, 3 no chumps making 10 on both tables. And so on this table, all these boys know each other quite well. Vince Dumais came out here a number of years ago. I actually played with him in Canberra, I think, and at that stage his English, he came from Canada, and his English was very limited. And that was when he was much younger. And Craniac is a hot player in the world at the moment. And the two Australians are Liam Milne at north and Andy Hung at south, both very well known in this country. And so all four of them know each other in this match. So West had opened the long clubs, an obvious double by Liam Milne. Craniac bid his long suit without any much in the way of points. And they have now got to 4 hearts by Andy. A singleton spade lead. Fortunately, Liam's got the spades. As we can see, the Queen of Hearts is on side. So we shouldn't lose a heart. King of Diamonds is on side, so we don't lose a diamond. We do lose 2 clubs. So hopefully this will be quite safe. So Liam is thinking about it. Obviously he's going to win the spade, and how he's going to play the rest of the hand. I mean, he needs to be able to ruff a club. At some stage, so he doesn't want to use up all his trumps in his north hand. So interesting situation as to what he's going to play here. Or not so much, not this trick, but what he's going to play on the second trick. Now I can see down below that in the view graph and the commentators on view graph, that they do not seem to have been let in yet. Down there, it's Phil Markey from South Australia, who, knowing Phil, bit of a wild man, has probably been on the whole night. Yeah, so he's going to play the King of Hearts, draw one round of trumps. Now what's he going to do? So he's drawn 2 rounds of trumps. Now he's going to ruff the... well, he can't play the spade, get rid of the club, and... And Liam's problem here is he needs to get into the south hand so that he can finesse his the King of Diamonds. So he's trying to force them now have to play him the diamond. So he's going to lose the Queen of Hearts. And there's no way out of losing the 2 clubs. Yes, he's drawing the heart himself. Okay, now playing the last heart out. Now he's going to finesse the diamond, which is onside. Ace of diamonds, and give up the diamond, making 10. Yes, successfully navigated that. Let's just see what's happening on the other table. On board 18, where are they up to? They're still on 17, and then playing in 4 hearts. So we'll go back to our table. So 4 hearts on 17 was down 3 played here. So let's see how they go in 4 hearts on the other table. So they're playing more quickly on this table. We still don't seem to have live commentators on ViewGraph. Andy Hung's opened 2 diamonds. It seems to be much more popular now than it has been for a few years to play 2 diamonds as being a natural weak diamonds. But he's also not vulnerable against vulnerable. Otherwise we'd probably expect him to have 6 diamonds. So it's an interesting question for Vince Dumai. Does he double here or does he bid the hearts first? So he's doubled. East-west actually have a very good hands here. They're not going to lose much, if anything, so they so Kroniak has responded to the double by saying yes, he's got decent points over here. So now Vince is forced to bid his hearts, though we can see the spades are far better. Now, presumably Kroniak will pull that 2 spades and then they'll go 4 spades, and let's see if they go any further. There's the 3 spades. Obviously he's going to bid 4 spades. He's got 15 points versus 12. Queen of Spades is not going to drop, so they're going to be interesting to see when they play the spades whether he runs the jack or not. Though he could go up with the ace fine that Milne was out, and therefore come back and with his entry with the ace of hearts or the ace of diamonds and be able to safely play his jack of spades. So we're going looking for the slam. More to the point, if you're barracking for the Australians, they are going for the slam, but I would expect that we would bid this on the other table too. Craniac will just naturally bid the 6 spades now. The commentary you can see below was actually from the last round, wasn't for this round. This being the 4th round, this is the Q4 of 4, 15 boards. That'll be boards running up to from 16 to 30. He's gone the 7, okay. Wow, this could be a game changer. Particularly if he gets the spade wrong. Well, this is exciting. So I'm just on another computer going to go on to and see what's happening on the other table. Just need to get the match up, so this is Peter Cox here. I don't normally do the commentary, I just host the commentary for the experts, but we're very limited on getting people in through the security system of Zoom. So you're stuck with me for the next couple of hours, or you can just watch it on BBO. But what's going to happen is I'm going to probably cut this up into what in sports world now are called minis, and you'll see that in football and surfing and all other sorts of competitions. The minis run about 20 minutes, so that would be converting the 2 hours here down to 20 minutes for a mini, so it's not too long for people to watch. Now on the other table they're up to 9, they're just starting bidding 19. So he obviously wins the ace here. Now what does he do about the spades? Except for the 2 diamond opening, north-south has stayed very quiet, so they haven't given away much information. Okay, they've opened on the other table 2 diamond from south as well, and double as Vince did here. But yeah, they've got an undo. Been a lot of undos with the not because of the players, but because of the view graph operators. It's not easy being a view graph operator. And broadband has been a problem to them during the event. Here he goes, Jack of Spades 2. That's exactly what I called, that he played to the ace. Now he finds out that news, so now he can always trap the queen. He's coming back to the ace, and then he'll play the 10 of spades again. Pretty well any spade will do, as long as it's above 7 and above, 10 of spades. So looks as though now, and one more spade. Now his problem is that he needs to get rid of the losing diamond. So he didn't drop the queen of hearts that he might have been hoping for. So now what's he going to do? Now on the other table, they're only playing in 4 spades. Kit Wolseley, Bart Bramley. So we desperately need to get this off. Yes, double swing. Great. So that will be a big plus to the Australians. That last trick was always going to be a problem. And in 4 spades, being played by Bart Bramley, he could play this in his sleep and make it. So we're looking here at a diamond from north, heart from south, pretty straightforward so far. Yes, saying I've got a minimum hand and 4 hearts is Liam Milne. Now, question is Andy going to pursue this any further? They've got 11 points in north. 15. They have got 26 points, and Andy decides he'll go 3 no trumps, which Liam probably will just pass the 3 no trumps. It's one less trick they need to make. And the spades are pretty good stoppers. Clubs could be a bit of a concern. East is obviously going to pass here. So the lead will be with Vince. Yes, we like that lead. So now he's going to lose 1 diamond. But that will set him up to throw away a losing club. So we're going to win 3 diamonds, a club, that's 4, a heart, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 spades. So we need 1 more trick to make the 9. So now we can see that a finesse of the king of clubs will work to give us the 9th trick, but that would be a risky play to probably take. The most logical suit to try and get a fourth, to get another trick out of, would be the heart suit. So he could play the heart, play the queen or the king, the ace, that which would promote Vince's jack. But then once the jack is out, the hearts are high for Andy. So he's just thinking about what the alternatives are. Just reminding you, this is the last set of this round. And the winner goes through to the semi-finals, the last four, which would be very exciting if Liam and Andy could get through to that. But first they have to survive this match. And as we saw before, the scores are now up, that they made on 19, they made the contract easily, and we pick up 13 imps for that, which puts us to 108 over 72, 36 imps up. With 11 boards to go. It's not invincible, but it's a very good starting point. So there you are, he's conceded the Jack of Hearts. Luckily, while he still has the Ace of Clubs stopper in clubs, so now he should be safe. On the other table, they're playing this hand in 4 hearts, which was probably where we thought it was going to go in the first place, seeing that they had a 8-card fit for 4 in the hearts. But Andy decided to play it in 3 no trumps, so only needed to make the 9 tricks. So it's 4 hearts with the 6 of spades lead on the other table. Now, the interesting thing for Vince is whether he plays the spades or does he play the clubs. If he plays the clubs, that would set up Andy's Queen of Clubs, but we still need to get that King of Diamonds out. Okay, looks as though the commentary's now started on ViewGraph. The bottom half of that is only from when they've started. So there's Andy getting out the King of Diamonds. He's going to force it out. 10 tricks, 630. I'd expect the same thing to have on the other table. In 4 hearts. So probably a wash. So Liam Milne has opened a diamond from north. Interesting, the Cranioc hand, which is a huge hand, 21 points. He's obviously going to now come back into the game by saying to his partner, I have a big hand, not sure where to go, tell me more. Now from the Australian point of view, we've got to hope they end up in clubs, but they're not likely to with a void opposite the 6 clubs. That's interesting, because that hand of Craniac's is really probably worth more. Particularly as we know that the King of Hearts can be picked up. They're still playing out 20 on the other table. Wow. So in a moment we'll see what happens when they've played out 20. They've only played 4 tricks so far. So I wonder if he'll cross to the Queen of Spades and play the diamond through and and play the heart through and drop the king. No, he laid down the heart and dropped the king. Wow. Point is, he needs the Queen of Spades as his only entry to playing the Ace of Clubs. But then he doesn't want to really play the Ace of Clubs anyhow. Look, they had 9 tricks, well, they had 10 tricks off the top when they picked up the King of Hearts, so that made 4 hearts, 3 spades, 7, 2 diamonds, 8, 9, and the Ace of Clubs is 10. So now we're just paying for over tricks. Okay, so on the other table, they played in 4 hearts, and as I expected, that's a wash. So no change in the score there. And on 21, I'll just show you because I don't think anything exciting is going to happen on this table. It's gone a diamond. Now, I think back on the other table that they passed the 1 diamond and came back in again later, but he's now doubled, which would make Kit Wilsley excited because he thinks he's got a club fit. Which of course he doesn't. However, they do have a 4-3 fit in hearts. One would expect them to probably now play in the 4 hearts, but they could find, yes, there's the 4 hearts, and that's where they'll play. As we know, that's going to go very well. So we'll go back to our table. So Kraniak is just slowly playing out this hand. Obviously being careful. This level of this top American competition, you don't want any mistakes, particularly if you're starting to get tired at the end of a long day. No, these are 6-person teams. When the Australians were playing and beat the Americans in the first round in the nickel team, the number 1 team, remember this is knockout, Australia were actually playing a 4-man team. But now that you're much further down the line, the 6 players get tighter, and the 6-person team, presumably it works much better. Seems like there's no commentary on the view graph. I'm just going to look on the on another screen and see what the kib situation is. Well, there's 144 kibs for the table we're watching with the Australians playing, and there are 303 kibs on the other table because Worsley and Bramley and Bathurst and Hurd are all very well known Americans, so much more logical that they should get followed. In the other matches, about this equal number, about nearly 300 watching the match, which is got all the big players. Got Kowski, Gauritz, Lorenzo playing against Martel and Fleischer, or with them. So that's what's happening there. And if I just go up and I can see the other third group. And so Zia, as usual, has his league of followers, Zia Mahmood, and he has 633 kibitzers, which is twice what the highest of any other table has got. And I'll just check the score in that match. There's a big gap. The Donna team is beating the Wolferson team 123 to 82. So Zia's actually losing that match. He had a very narrow escape on the very first round. Actually, they got down to the last board before they won in the first round to survive. Okay. So back here, yeah, the 3-0 chance was making easily. So now we've got 2 hearts being played as weak hearts, 6 card suit, 3 points. I don't know if everybody would bid at opening 2 hearts with 3 points when you're vulnerable versus not vulnerable, but we will see. The Australians have very good very good hands here. Particularly, they've got a nice spade fit. Though the clubs don't all drop for them. So Liam didn't waste any time there bidding the 5 clubs over the 4 hearts. Look, there's screens on these tables, so in theory the it's been doubled. At least he knows where the 4th club is, where there's a bad break in clubs. He knows where it is now. With the double, that's the problem with doubling. But the problem for the view graph operators is, in theory, they should stop and wait until both bids come from the one side of the screen, so that the opponents don't know who actually was taking the time to think before making the bids. But I have the feeling here that's probably not happening. So 5 clubs doubled by North. Well, they're obviously going. We are going to lose the ace of spades and a heart, so that's 2 tricks. 2 diamonds, so we're going to need for Liam to finesse the club to the 9. Now that is going to be a tough one. Because he has limited entries for doing it too often. So now Vince is thinking, do I duck this? Do I put up the ace? If I duck it and my partner's leading top of a doubleton and I get back in again, I can lay down the ace and give a ruff. Alright, this is interesting. Now I'm just going to look and see what happened at the other table. Okay, so now 4 hearts by East on 21, so they're still on that last hand, so they're not up to this one yet. Okay, so the view graph operators come alive and put in, as you can see, there's no commentary happening on the view graph, so therefore he's come alive and putting in some now a bit of commentary himself when he has time in between recording the plays or the bids. Now if you're watching a recording of this, various technical problems being experienced both in America and here. Therefore I can't get my commentators in, and I don't normally do the commentary. I normally host for the other commentators, but today I'm in this situation. I can't do much about it. If I'm driving you crazy, just go back and watch it. On the view graph archives, which would certainly be a lot faster. My God, they're playing this fast now. Okay, so now he's going to find out he's got the bad news on the clubs. And there's not going to be anything much he can do about that, I don't think. He's lost 2 tricks. He hasn't lost any tricks so far. We know he's going to lose a club. We know he's going to lose a spade and a heart. Lucky we're not vulnerable. So if we're 1 down, that'll be 100 away. They're now bidding out this hand on the other table. They didn't open with East with 3 points, 2 hearts. They passed, so West has opened 1 diamond with a double from North and a redouble from East, and a spade from South. I would expect that on the other table they'll end up in 4 spades. North, South. Yeah, as I expected, 1 off, 100 away. Unlucky on the club split on that hand, that's for sure. On the other table they're still slowly bidding. They're now up to 2 hearts by South. So back on this table, obviously, natural diamond, spade, now what does Kroniak do here? He's got 12 points, opposite his opening partner. Mind you, they can't trust their partners because they open pretty light sometimes. So he said, I've got diamond support for you and decent points. So Andy's jumped in with the 4 spades to try and make life difficult for them. So is Liam doing the thinking, or is Craniac doing the thinking? Because I think North and East play on the same side of the screen. Pass by Liam Milne. I think Liam had already said a fair bit with his 1 spade bid. Now, let's see what Craniac's going to do. It's actually interesting. There could be a slam on here. They're solid in hearts. They don't lose a heart. They just lose 1 diamond. And on a non-club lead, they would be able to throw the club away. So 5 clubs. Hearts now 5 diamonds. I think they're probably likely to stay there. The question is, does Craniac do anything about this? So, bad news here that on the other table they made their contract. They're in 4 spades making, so they pick up 11. So the lead is now down to 26 to the Bramley team, the Australian team. Craniac's thinking about what to do in response to this. Look, they set the suit in diamonds. So 5 clubs must have been 1 or 4. Now, is 5 diamonds to play? Because Vince knows that he's missing the ace and he's missing probably missing a diamond and a questionable club. The view graph operator says Craniac is in a long study. And as I said earlier, East-West have 12 easy tricks in diamonds, except that on a club lead, not before North-South get 2, absolutely. So he's bid the 6 diamonds. So 6 diamonds, so is Liam going to lead out his king of clubs or his queen, whichever their preferences are? Oh, it's being played by Vince. The diamond was opened. Yeah, so that's right, being played by Vince. So therefore Liam's on lead. Come on, Liam, lead the king of clubs. This is a big hand, this hand, because if they make the 6 diamonds, on the other table they played in 5 diamonds, making the 12. I'm just going to play a lead to see what they led against the 5 diamonds. Yeah, 4 of hearts was led against it. The singleton. But unfortunately, East-West have got the hearts. So there we are, he's claiming the 11 tricks. So thank goodness. 12 imps back to Bramley. And that makes the about 38, I think. the gap now. That was a vital board in this match. Alright, well after that bit of excitement, another diamond opened by West, by Vince, over call by Spade. Only 4 points in Kroniak's hand. He's a pretty aggressive bidder. So will he bid one no trump with those long clubs and hope he gets his club bid in later? No, he passed. And this could be another interesting hand. So Vince has doubled the 4 clubs for a club lead. Look, we can see that slam's not on because they're missing north-south, that is, for Milne and Hung, because they're missing the ace king of hearts. King of diamonds is offside. Club lead won't worry them because they can rough that. But I think we want them to stop in 4 spades. Perhaps that double's a bit of a warning too. from Vince. So first round control by Liam. So I'm suffering the same problem as the view graph operator is, and that is I'm on my own for technical reasons, and I would presume the view graph, the commentators on there have their technical reasons why they have as well. And Gerald, if you are listening, I've sent you a chat. If you have a look at your chat, perhaps you could help me out with some information. Wow. 6 clubs by East-West. Gee, it's... And you know what? That can make... Because the ace of diamonds is on side. Wow, this is tricky. Because this would be a big swing. Because on the other table, it was played north-south in 5 spades, as they got to on this table. So West thinks he's making a sacrifice, when in reality, it could be a huge pickup for them. Wow, this is interesting. So let's just... Now, is Liam thinking of sacrificing into 6 spades, because he's going to be missing the ace king of hearts? And we don't ever have a way of getting rid of our losing hearts. This is a very crucial hand. This is... Well, this is tricky. So now Andy's bid 6 spades and they doubled him very quickly. No wonder. However, if we can keep it to 1 off, not vulnerable, and we can see that 6 clubs would have made, this has got, gee, number of possibilities in this. Sorry guys, I'll put the volume down on that one. Okay, I just got queries coming in by messaging, so I'm just doing messages at the same time. I'm sorry, is there any advancement here? Yeah, they won their first 2 tricks as we expected. Okay, so no, this has got to be a swing against us, doesn't it? Because they made 5. They made their 5 spades on the other table. That would be for the Spector team. And we're going to go, and we're off here. So we're going to lose 12 or 13 imps or something here. So as I said, yes, it was a 13 swing against us. So the lead's now down to 25. With 6 boards to go. That could be a vital score in this match. Interesting, I think, for anybody, that Cognac with 11 points and a 4-4-4 one hand. Okay. In this modern world, we've got so many technology problems that they're experiencing in the US and we're experiencing here. And I've got somebody messaging me because in one of the wealthiest suburbs in Sydney, the electricity is off for the whole day while the power company does something. So should be no swing on this board. The other table's in 4 hearts, making 11. We just need to count off these boards now. I actually have put up on Bridge TV a video I made of the last, well, I cut it down to the last 20 minutes of when Australia was beating nickel. And which is a fun video because it's by the commentator is Sophie Ashton, the wife of Sir Taj Hans, whose team it was that were playing. And to see the emotion from somebody very close to one of the players playing out those last few hands, the excitement was intense. So there we are, pushboard, both got 650, move on, 26. So that's a bit of fun. I also made a video for the last board in the Australian National Championships in Adelaide last week, where it came down to, in the Open, to the last board. So that's a bit of fun to have a look at too. So it would appear from a couple of kibs who have been able to get in that they were both registered with Zoom. I don't know if that means they have their own account on Zoom, probably. Because you can go onto Zoom without having an account. If somebody else invites you, is how I understand it. But, so I obviously have a Zoom account. Does that mean that I would be under the term registered? If you guys want to put it in some chat to me, you're most welcome to. I know that Peter Fitzmaurice is an IT man himself, and he's now saying to me, yes, I have my own account and set up meetings. Yeah, so that applied to both of them. So that seems to be the secret at the moment. I'm trying to get Zoom to give us a sensible answer to let people in, because that is killing us. So Zoom, I am not happy. Okay, so another week opening in diamonds have been very popular today. So the Aussies have gone to 4 spades. In a Moysian fit, just with only 4-3 in spades. And unfortunately, 3 honours sitting in the West hand, the Vince Dumais hand. And I think that without power, it should work. To my two technical kibs, and so I wonder whether we could get everybody who wants to get in, whether we could get them registered and what needs to be done to achieve that. And I presume that a free account would work just as well with a registered. Peter might know Fitzmaurice might know the answer to that question. He says they shouldn't need to register. I absolutely agree. But apparently Zoom has changed its regulations from the 1st of June. And now they have all these authorisations that are needed. I've been having arguments with Zoom for the last few days trying to get over that, because that's really hurt us this week. This would have been a great opportunity for people to be watching this. So for those who are, so 5 clubs by North. Well, we can see we're going to lose 1 diamond. The spade's protected, so if we can pick up all the clubs and then use the hearts, and we could therefore lose 1 diamond and 1 spade. Now, I'm not sure if that would be great if we could do that. Okay, so now he's going to draw the trumps. That doesn't worry him. Jack would ace, either one will win it. So Peter, could you send me an email just at Peter Cox, PETERCOX at Auziemail, OZEMAIL.com.au, so I have a contact for you, as we're working on these technology issues at the same time. Power in some areas, problems in America with lousy broadband system, and problems here for us dealing with Zoom. I started out in television actually with Michael Willisey. Back in '76, spent 4 years. We made 1,000 episodes of Willisey at 7, the same as A Current Affair. And yes, I mean, we had huge studios and facilities and everything else in those days to be doing basically what I'm doing now from my home. So it's interesting that technology has developed in that way. But, you know, you can use technology sometimes that's failing, makes some good television. But here I have to tell you, it's just damn annoying. So, if I do happen to put this up, so on this board on 26, 3 no trumps went off at the other table. So if we so now he's going to play the King of Hearts presumably. And as we can see, that's going to win. He plays the King of Hearts, switches over to the Ace Queen, Jack's dropped, and he wins the rest of the tricks. Yes! Making the 11 tricks, 7, 15, 14 imps in. This is exciting. This is great. Now, as I said earlier in the commentary, very interesting because the legend in American Bridge, Bob Hammond, was the other pair in this team where he could have quite rightfully have just played himself with Kit Wolseley and combination. And he didn't. He gave the last match to the Australians, which was fantastic of him. Bart Bramley, who plays with Kit Wolseley, apparently Ian Thompson tells me, the treasurer of the ABF, that he's a great supporter of younger players, and between him and Hammond, giving the opportunity to Liam Milne and Andy Hung, certainly the two great Australian players, to play in their international team is fantastic, and it would appear as though they're paying them back in spades at the moment, we might say. So here, it's pretty straightforward bidding so far. Gosh, Andy's only got 3 points, and the question is, will Liam go on? I hope after that praise I've just given them that it doesn't go to their heads, because we know that 2 hearts is tons enough. Yes, passed the 2 hearts out. The view graph operator says that Vince Dumais, sitting west, is exhibiting some frustration, he says. Just got to get that off my screen. If you want to see that. I'm sure he's very frustrated. Look, they don't know the score as they go along. Obviously they know what it was at the start of the last round. But when you're at the table, you can be sensing what's happening. Mind you, your senses can be wrong sometimes because you don't know what happens at the other table. They can muck up a hand just as badly as you may have done. But yeah, I'm sure that Vince is under big pressure here. As I said earlier, many years ago, I did actually have a game with Vince Dumais when he was in Australia. He's a friend of Ishmael de Monte's. Unfortunately, he was very young. He didn't speak English. I didn't speak French. So we didn't do particularly well, but at least in history I can say I played with one of the top international players. Yes, Peter, that is the address. So, 27, 28, 29, 30. 4 boards to go. And a 39-point lead, I think. In this game, that can change very quickly. As you can see, looking at the history over on the right, that there were 3 boards in a row where it went 11, 12 and 13 imps on the 3 boards, so there can be a lot of imps on a few boards. From our point of view, we're happy if nothing really happens now for the rest of the game and just go quietly along. 2 hearts seems a nice level to be at. So let's just see what's happening on the other table. Well, we know on this thing that 2 spades on the other table was doubled -4. Wow, this is going to be... If our guys can get their 2 hearts up, this will be another huge swing. Gosh, they played in 2 spades on the other table on this 5-2 fit. That did not go well. Mind you, we did have an experience earlier in the week that where one of the Australian players was playing 4 spades doubled, going 6 down. So even at this exalted level, there can be mistakes or misjudgments, and obviously big score swings as a result. So we're already 1 trick down here. But we weren't doubled. We're not vulnerable. This heart suit's not playing out very nicely. So there we are, -100 and 12 imps in. Excellent. I'm sorry if you find this a biased call, but really this is just for the Australian market, and as these who are our remaining 2 Australians in the event, Liam Milne from North and Andy Hung from South. Liam Milne, as you would all know, is a New Zealander originally, had a degree in engineering or science from there, and then he went to Melbourne Uni and did another degree, but he's chosen that bridge will be his career, and he's been very successful at it. Not only is he a very good bridge player, but he writes very well, is a great analyst at bridge, and he played in Adelaide in the Australian National Championships 2 weeks ago. He played with Sir Taj Hans's wife, Sophie Ashton, and the pair of them were in the team that won the Australian Open, and Liam and Sophie topped the datums. So, and Sir Taj was in the losing team here, in the winning team that beat the nickel team, but then subsequently got beaten themselves. So, and Andy was in Queensland and did a lot of teaching and directing and that in Queensland, was well known there, and then has been in Western Australia, but a Queensland person who rang me late last night told me that he actually comes back and visits Queensland quite a lot, so they do still see him. So on this bidding sequence, a heart, a spade, interference, 2 diamonds, 3 clubs. This is all pretty natural bidding on this hand. So this is going to be a good test because, they always say don't play no chumps when you have misfits. So the diamond lead is a bit tricky because we don't want to ever let the diamonds back in again once the king queen are out. So this is going to be played by Andy Hung from South. So now, which hand do you attack? Well, we can see so now he's going to play the diamond back through. Now we have a problem. Now we have a real problem. Except that Vince had to put up the ace because he doesn't know that his partner's still got the 2. Wow. Anyhow, so we are going to lose here, and we're vulnerable. So we're minus 200. Now on the other table, they're playing it in 3 no trumps by South, the same as this table. So hopefully they'll go down as well. We'll just have a very quick look for you. You can see that other table. There we are. They've put the jack of diamonds back through the king again to the ace. So, well, they've actually led the jack of diamonds. So now Wolseley thinking about whether he puts up the ace or whether he ducks it this time and waits to get in. But if he does that, the hearts might play. Alright, so this is a bit crucial. We certainly don't want them to make in 3 no trumps because that would be a definite double swing for us. Or against us, as is more to the point. Gerald Dawson says, surprise Hung didn't duck the diamond a trick one. Yes, inclined to agree, Gerald. But I think, as it turns out, if he ducks at a trick at the first one, then the queen forces the ace. Though he's still got a third diamond. Alright, let's go back to our original table and see what the Aussie boys are doing. We're not doing much bidding on this hand, which is excellent. I might tell you we're 51 imps ahead. So it would take one hell of a result on the last three boards to get 51 imps back. Even 3 12s, 36, 3 13s. Just pretty well nearly impossible. Easter playing in 4 spades. They're going to lose a spade. If they try to finesse the heart, they'll lose one. Look, they should be pretty safe on making the 4 spades on 29. Got all those winners in clubs you can throw losers on. You can throw your losing diamond, for example. Now this spade's been bid first by Vince, so the lead's going to come from Liam. And as we can see, well, Andy has bid a diamond, so presumably Liam will lead the 10 of diamonds. Yeah, the view graph operator I noticed that Phil Markey's got back in onto, at the very end of the match, they've finally got back into view graph. So he has let a diamond, as asked for, forces out the ace. Oh, 6 spades there, Jesus. What's going on here? Well, we're going to win a spade and a diamond. We loosely termed, because it really is an American team with 2 Australians in it. But Vince has made a desperate bid here on 6 spades. He knows he's a long way behind. He has to pull off something spectacular. But hopefully, well, now particularly that won't be the case, because both our king, queen of spades come high. Gee. We can do even more damage here. This is a lot of excitement for so early in the morning. I don't know how my recording of these events have gone. I've got actually recorded it on 2 systems, on both OBS and on Zoom. But because of the technical issues along the way, I'm not too sure how that'll end up. What I was thinking of doing was putting this up on the website. I've got to go and direct today, but if I can get it edited fast enough and put it up, at least just as a record, I mean, for people who want to come in and have a look and see what happened. So on that last board, the 6 spades went down 200. That was on 29. They're not up to 29 yet on the other table. They're just playing 28 out. And to my technical guys who are watching, Ron Klinger wanted to come on, and I'm sure that he would have his own account with Zoom, so that should make him registered, and yet that hasn't got through the security system. So I'm not too sure about that. If either of you wants to give me a comment on that, I really need to solve this fast, particularly with the Australians getting through. They'll be playing again tomorrow, and I need to be able to get everybody in. So Peter or Gerald, I know Peter's an IT guy. If you've got solutions to that, I'd really appreciate it, because the Geograph operator is pointing out on that last hand that where he played in 6 spades, that 7 clubs and 7 no trumps make. If I look down the bottom here. So obviously I think Vince could argue everything went against them on this match. But this is going to be a huge victory for Liam Milne and Andy Hung, having been given the opportunity by Bart Bramley and Bob Hammond to play this vital last set, and then for having done so spectacularly well, is really great. Thank you, Peter, for doing that. I look forward to hearing from you. I'll have my email on all day, even when I'm directing. So if we can get over these technology issues. Yes, and if you send me an email, I'll have your email address, and I can send you my correspondence with Zoom so far. So that would be great. So board 30, boy, there's been some big hands. All right, so we're going to pick up more points on the previous board, but on this one, Andy's opened a club, a diamond from Liam, 2 spades, 12, he's got 16 points, 6-5 in the spades, 2 no trumps from North. So we've got to be on our way to a slam here, one would expect. I know that Paul Marston always argues you don't want to have wasted values opposite a void, and they've certainly got that in Ace, King, Queen, Jack of clubs. But as long as they can find an entry, which may not be easy, because lucky the diamond split 5-3. So South's now gone 5 clubs, so let's just see. Presumably they're going to play in 6 spades. Now, they don't know what the scores are. And certainly if you're the team that's behind, you normally feel worse about the scores than you feel positive, I think, that when you're in when you're in the leading one. I think you can presume that on the other table, if they know they're well down, they'll probably head off to 7 of something. 7 spades, I suppose, as another desperate bid like Vince did on the previous hand. And on that 29, for a matter of interest, on the other table, the bidding is up to 5 spades so far by East. So this is Wolseley and Bram, and they might be... So we mightn't win so much on this. Let's just see what Kit Wolseley now is going to bid, or is he going to pass the 5 spades? We'll see in a moment. So they didn't find the clubs or the no trumps either. So on this table, Vince is thinking for quite a while as to, well, either Vince is thinking or Andy's thinking, Andy bid this 5 clubs, so he can't be thinking. Now this depends at what speed the view graph operators put the bids in. They should be waiting until both sides of the screen have made their bids before putting it in, but I doubt whether that's been happening. Because I don't think Vince can even find some extraordinary bid with their terrible hands to be bidding here. So on 28, Gerald, I can tell you on 28, we go here. We actually don't need to do that. I'll go on the other computer. On 28, it was 3 no trumps. Yes, it was 3 no trumps on 28 by South, but they haven't played the hand yet. Yes, they've played 28. They just haven't played 20. They're on 29 now, sorry. So we know what the outcome on 28 was because we lost 13 imps on it. So they're on to 29 now. Gee, this is overkill. Wow. So Andy has claimed the 13 tricks and they've accepted it. So that's 940. This is going to be a huge win for Australia. And a little bit of America too. The Americans might bid the 7 clubs, of course, on board 30 when they get to it. They're still playing out 29. but it won't make a difference. The gap between the two teams is too big. So let's go to the other table. Okay, so we can see what's going on here. So this is where, when we were watching, they were playing Vince's 6 spades going off 2. We're in 5 spades now playing it with Kit Wolseley and Bart Bramley. So question is, are they going to be 1 off, or are they going to make the 5 spades? They've got a losing spade. Queen of Spades is going to be a loser. Now, this is interesting. Let's see which heart he plays from the Kit Wolseley's hand. No, he played the ace. He didn't take the chance. He's going to rough it instead. Yeah, playing the Queen. Ducks it. Doesn't know where it is. Oh, gosh, he even got that right. Now he puts it up. Now he roughs it. King of clubs back, yeah, well. Now he has to play the Queen. Come on, play the Queen. Come on, guys. There's no way out of this hole. So I see the Holland has just told us that Zimmerman beat Amos. Zimmerman being the Swiss team, basically, or the Swiss team being the Zimmerman team, however way you want to look at it. An unfortunate comment there on ViewGraph. So the other one's going to be Donna versus Street. So these boys, by the sound of that, no, that doesn't tell me what the split will be. Actually, I can look it up. No, perhaps I can't at this stage. So, okay, well he's finally given in on the king. Now he's going to rough that. Look, he's going to win the Queen of Spades, and that's it. Oh, perhaps he can win the... Perhaps he wins 2, yeah, making 650, another 13 imps to Bramley. Wow, what an annihilation this is. It's 106 to 109 at the moment, a 51 lead. And we know that our Aussie boys, Aussie New Zealand if you like, Liam Milne, Andy Hung, were on the Sport 30, were in 6 clubs plus 1. I think the Bathurst and Hurd, if they can feel what the result are, have no option probably than to go to a 7 clubs here, but that will make no difference either. You can't get enough points to get it back, so this is all over. The shouting, as they say. And kids even mix this up by getting a heart bid in on them. That's the end of the bidding for Bramley on this board, so it's purely up to what Bathurst and Hurd, how they bid this out. We know that the clubs are cold, it makes 13. And they're desperate, so they're going to have to do something. One of the Viewgraph people commentating on the Viewgraph are asking 13 clubs there or no trumps, and Phil Markey, Australian, who I think has probably worked the whole night doing all the matches. He's saying yes, it makes 13. We know it makes 13 because Liam and Andy made the 13. So the desperate position they're in, I would have thought they'd have to bid 7 anyhow, but they don't know that position so well. Now, so I'm again apologising that I've provided the commentary over all of this. As I've said throughout the day, we've had lots of technology problems. Particularly in the US, for Viewgraph commentators being not able to get in, for Zoom not being able to let on their security systems, not letting our kibs in, which has been highly annoying. So yes, I think that was a siren to signal the end of the game. So what are they going to end up in? Come on. North, decide what your decision is. Five diamonds, come on. Let's make a decision. Five hearts, six clubs. This is going to be 6 or 7, though these boys might bid it in spades rather than in clubs. Still I can hear sirens celebrating this win. 5 no trumps, jeepers. He's got 1 king. Just bid the 6. Put us out of our misery, please. Well, we're not in misery, but put themselves out of their own misery. Let's get a bid in here. I think it's all got a bit convoluted, the bidding sequence. So I think there's some hesitation as to what they should be playing in. There we are, finally. So, as I thought, they might find the 6 spades, which it's not necessarily certain they're going to lose at least 1 spade. King of Hearts, great lead, but they can throw the losing heart on the diamonds straight away when they win south. Mind you, south can't get, well, they can get to north through the King of Spades, I suppose, to play the diamonds, to throw the heart on. They've got all the clubs. There it is, exactly right. Throwing his losing heart. Now he just has to play the spades out. Can re-enter North Hand with the Queen of Clubs to play out the... This is all over, Red Rover. So this will be 6 spades making 12 versus 6 clubs making 12. So they lose 1 imp there, and it's a huge victory. 160 to the Bramley team, which included the 2 Australians, Milne, Andy Hung. Congratulations to them. That's a 50 imps win. That is an incredible result. Thank you for watching.